Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, double honors to our apostles slash elders of GMS, who rule well. Blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching, enduring truth, sincerity. This is a little quick hit, man. A little quick hit I wanted to do for you, Akim. And I want to go into the scripture. And then once I go into the scripture, what the hell is this, man? Come on now. Etymology. Everything is all fucked up nowadays, huh? I don't know why all of a sudden, man, Satan is hiding a lot of information nowadays, man, because things that I used to just pull up, it's not pulling up anymore, you know, such as etymology.com, you know. See if I put .com, see how that works. Look like some bullshit. It's loading up 18 pages and shit. But long story short, Satan, man. My phone works just fine, but I'm on my phone right now, so, you know, it's hindering that. I wanted to go into 1 Timothy chapter 5. I'll start at 20, but the point is in 21. It says, them that sin rebuke before all, that others may fear. All right? It says, I charge thee therefore before the Most High, and the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, and the elect angels, that thou observe these things without preferring one before another, doing nothing by partiality. When you go into that word partiality, it basically breaks down into two words. I believe it's inclination and basically the words being broken down. Let's see here, I'm gonna see if I could pull it up in a different site. Let's go to Google. They're acting like the site that we always go to doesn't exist. All right, there we go. So partiality, all right? And here, partiality is one-sidedness. It's partial. So I want to go into the Blue Letter Bible, see if they're going to let me get up in there. See if they're going to let me have that. There we go. So 1 Timothy 5 and 21, right? So once you go into 1 Timothy 5 and 21, it says do nothing by partiality. When you go to that word partiality, it's let's see here. The word is
Strong's G 4346. Prosklesis.
Yeah, and it's through the spirit, because I was doing in transit, you know, earlier last week. I think it was like a Saturday or Friday, and the video was skipping, and I just said, you know, hey, I'm gonna go home and do it, and I'm getting around to it now, right? So you know, here we are. But then I was talking to the brother today, you know, in regards to something around this subject matter, you know, and we also talked about other things like, you know, you got ethics, and there's a list that I seen on the internet or somewhere I was just looking up, and I seen a long list of some beautiful things to observe as far as being a man, right? And the brother pointed out a beautiful point, and he brought out one that he was particular about, and it was about ethics, you know. But one thing I wanted to point out is that ethics doesn't cover everything all the time. Ethics is really based off of your principles and living, you know, please and thank you, yes ma'am and no ma'am, you know, just like out here, Yes ma'am and no ma'am is not a thing used. They prefer, ethics is like, out of respect, call me by my first name or call me by, Mr. and this and that. But down south, yes ma'am and no ma'am is the proper ethics, right? So it's more subjective, right? So in the word partiality, it says an inclination or proclivity of mind. Okay, so when you go to the blue letter and you look up the word inclination, inclination goes back to is a condition of being mentally disposed to do something, and directly from Latin inclinationum, a leaning, bending, figurative, tendency, bias, favor, to bend, cause, to lean. It's basically to go toward, to lean toward that side. All right, inclination, like incline, right? And then you got proclivity, proclivity. Okay, so look up that word proclivity. And the word proclivity goes to from proclivit, or directly from Latin, proclivitem. It says a tendency, a predisposition. See here, prone to, literally sloping or incline. Forward. Pro means before, and cli means to lean. So proclivity is basically to basically to lean towards. You know what I'm saying? Like, as the scriptures say, you got the rich man. People listen to the rich man, things like that. Now, what the scripture says in here, it says in verse 21, it says, I charge thee therefore before the Most High, Lord Yahushua Mashiach, and the elect angels, and thou observe these things without preferring one before another, and do nothing by partiality. Do nothing by, basically, is basically to lean towards something, to be biased towards something, or to not think things through, or to do it because how you want it to be done, or to deal with somebody how you want to deal with. Like, you may have a wise brother. We may go to travel to a camp. You may see a brother, a very profound brother. But then you got beginning brothers. And everybody will be harping around that popular brother, that renowned brother, and then you got the younger brothers that's being ignored, or not shown any love. You know what I'm saying? And basically that's showing partiality. Because to be whole is to love the brotherhood. You love the brotherhood, not what a person can do for you, or a bias towards saying, oh, this is a brother, but this brother's kind of a brother. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's a brother, so everybody deserves that proper affection and attention, and things like that. And so I thought it was interesting when I looked it up, and it's basically in post favoritism, or to just have a bias. To you know what I'm saying? A bias is just you're leaning toward this way more than another way. You're leaning towards, say I'm into fighting, and then you got a brother that's into fighting, so I'm always listening to him, or he always has something good to say to me, or things like that. Or, you know what I'm saying? Really, that's the point I wanted to get across. And to be whole, to not be partial, is basically, if any brother talk to you, you want to hang out with any brother no matter what. You want to talk to any brother no matter what. And this is within the know. Now, when you're talking about, if you're coming in, you see brothers with the gayful the gay clothing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's matching and they preaching this way, and that's what people are. They prefer one before the other. You know, they don't like GMS because how they dress or how they talk, not because of the truth that's being spoken. It's basically they have a bias about themselves, which creates a partiality towards them in the truth. Just like people with Christians and scriptures, they like certain scriptures, they don't like the other. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a bias when you're in this truth. You got to eat the whole roll. You can't prefer one thing above another when everything is nutritious. You know, everything, you got to eat everything on this plate. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a bias and basically saying, well, I don't like the peas on the plate because peas get old fast, and you're just making up all this theory, and then you just have no cons toward the steak. You got all the cons toward the veggies, but you don't got no cons toward the steak. Or you vice versa. You might have all the cons for the steak, but no cons for the veggies. You see what I'm saying? You have to respect things for their rightful spot. You know, so if if apostle come through here, yeah, we're gonna make sure that the apostles are accommodated properly within their means of doing, you know, if they're coming through, or any brother, you know. But overall, that don't mean, you know, when they leave, then we just go back to, you know, not doing that at all type of deal. Everything is consistent. Anything that we believe in the scriptures, when you believe, like somebody like they can't stop smoking, but you believe in the more than one wife thing, and you cling on to that, you're able to put it and apply it immediately. But then when it comes down to not smoking or not doing this, and you're just like, I can't crack it, I've been doing this for birth. We've been dealing with one, you know, or under the customs of dealing with one woman from birth. But it's easy for you to, you know, Jake, to cling on to that because they're biased. You know what I'm saying? And when you're not supposed to prefer one before the other, just like to not eat swine, to not defile your temple, to not do these things should be just as respected as, you know, clinging in, or having more than one wife. You're not supposed to have a bias, basically. You're supposed to have balance in your judgment toward the respect of the situation. And I just found that that scripture very interesting on just keeping yourself true in nature. You know what I'm saying? But keeping yourself true in nature towards, you know, your akim, towards your learning, towards your growth as a man of the Lord, is to not be partial about anything that's involved in the spirit of Most High Yahweh Shemi Ashai. Everything deserves its proper respect. Whether it's a book that you like, you know, I'm more of Ecclesiasticus brother. You know, I love Ecclesiasticus. I love Proverbs. I love Psalms. You know, but I love Revelations. I don't sit there and say, well, Revelation is not as important as Ecclesiasticus, or Genesis is not as important as Ecclesiasticus, or Chronicles is not important. History is important. Prophecies are important. Character is important. All these things are important, but there's things that I lean toward, but I am not biased. I'm not going to, matter of fact, let's look up that word, bias. You don't want to be biased toward one thing toward another, right? The word bias is goes back to oblique or dialogue line, slant, slope, oblique, also figuratively, and expedient means, sideways, okay, against the grain, a word of unknown origin, probably, let's see here, in the old games of vowels, technical, let's see here, it says the balls made with a greater weight one side on one side, causing them to curve downward on one side. Hence the figurative use, a one-sided tendency of the mind, and at first, especially in law. Okay, so it's basically to lean one way. You know what I'm saying? Causing to incline to one side. Like someone that has a bias, people are biased toward races, or you're this race, and or that race you can't do. You know what I'm saying? Now there's a reality that Jacob and Esau, and that we're genetically different. All right, but there's a bias to believe that both these races are capable of murder. But then you basically say, well, how Esau says, Esau said to Esau that they won't, or he's too young, or he wouldn't do such a thing. Or you could say to your kids being bad, but your kid is acting innocent in front of you, and you have a bias toward him and saying, well, my child will never do that. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that every kid is capable of doing things. You know what I'm saying? And not using proper logic and dialogue and observation and being circumspect and realizing, look, this is possible. This has been possible. So when you're reading, you can't have a bias. Somebody reads something in the scriptures and say, no, give me some out of Ecclesiastes. I know only, that's the only book that matters. Basically, you're leaning toward it. You're committed toward that side. Just like people that kickbox or box, and you like, well, you don't need no feet when you got these hands. But in reality, like I don't like to wrestle. You know what I'm saying? But in MMA and in fighting period, wrestling is essential. Wrestling is very important. I lean toward boxing, but I'm not biased in boxing. I'm not biased to the point that I'm telling you that wrestling doesn't matter. Wrestling doesn't work. Jiu-jitsu doesn't work, type of deal. I know it works. It's just something that I do over here that attracts me. But my thought process and my respect is not leaned in that area. It's just that's where I go. So when you're dealing with brothers or you're dealing with the truth, you can't have a bias toward or a partiality toward any subject. You can't have a bias toward a brother. When one brother say a thing, you be like, oh, con. And then another brother that you're not, you don't lean toward him spiritually. You know what I'm saying? He might not do the same things you do. He may be like a introvert. Well, we are introverts, but like he may like to go out. You may like to go to the gym, or this brother like to cook, and this brother like to fucking skateboard. You know what I'm saying? And because you like skateboard, and anything he says is if you receive it. But then the brother that likes to cook and you're not into that, he could say the same thing. It's just like, oh, that's all right, that's a good information. But the brother you like, oh, con, oh yeah, that's dope. Like truth is truth. Brothers are brothers. You may hang out with one brother more than the other. You may harp on one scripture more than the other, but all scriptures is respectable. All brothers are respectable. You know what I'm saying? And that's just something I just wanted to get out. It's not too much I want to go over on it. It's just that just try to be balanced and not biased toward one person above the other. Putting one person above the other, one thing above the other. Just because of their gait, their clothing, or the way they live their life, and you like it, and so that everything that they say is, even if it's truth or not, that you just listen to it, and then compared to someone that's not of your interest, that you don't listen to them even though they're saying the same thing. That's a 2/3 mindset. So everything should be consistent and balanced, even though you're not favoring that element. So with that being said, I want to say call halal to y'all Bashim Yashai, Bashim Kakadash, Barakatham Akim, Double Ansha Apostle / Elders, GMS, and blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching and doing truth, sincerity. Sincere Habatham, Shalom.